Here we go.
Debra, are you there?
Hey guys.
Hi, Debra.
How are you, Debra?
Hi. I'm doing great. How are you?
We're doing so good.
Good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, happy launch day. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And you know what that feels like. Debra is the author of 2 books, True Love Dates, Your Indispensable Guide to Finding the Love of Your Life, and her newest book, which just released this year, Choosing Marriage, one that Jenny and I have been working through and we really appreciate and highly recommend.
Yes.
Now, Debra, what's your title? What do you go by when you're working as a counselor?
Yeah, I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I've kind of worked in every area of the field, but right now I'm kind of zooming in on relationship issues,
which is obviously an area that God's given you great wisdom in. As Jenny and I have found firsthand. Oh, look, we have a photo of you and your husband and your 3 beautiful babies.
So sweet.
On the screen.
How fun.
Yeah, very nice. Now, what's your kids' names?
Ella, Eli, and Ezra.
Which one's older, Ezra or Eli?
Ella's the oldest, and then Eli and Ezra is the youngest.
Okay,
So
Ezra looks like he's like 5. Does that sound right?
The youngest is 2.5.
Oh gosh! Well, this photo
and
he looks like he's 5.
The middle one, the middle guy is 6.
Okay. Well, is this? Well, you can't see this photo, so you don't know how. That's what I meant by looks like, because I didn't know what era the photo was taken in. Okay, now Debra, in the book, we're talking about anxiety. We're talking about suicidal thoughts, and
depression.
Depression and compulsive tendencies with Instagram and binge watching, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what I wanted to bring you in for, because you and I first met on an interview we did together, I was talking about Swipe Right. You were talking about relationships, like choosing marriage stuff, and obviously I've tracked with your career. You've helped Jenny and I as well as a counselor, but which I think is a point to make, just that Jenny and I have benefited so much from being able to seek help when we need it, and even when we don't need it, as far as getting healthy and all that. So staying healthy is what I meant to say there. But I was going to say, when it comes to the depression and anxiety sides of things, I thought you could really help us by, speaking into why do you think, or do you think, there seems to be a growing sense of anxiety, I know for a fact there's more prescription meds being taken and consumed. It just sure seems like Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, it seems like every time you turn around, Robin Williams, there's another high-profile suicide, and there's a billion that aren't getting the TV coverage as well. What do you make of this?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we're seeing anxiety and depression everywhere, and I think partly it's a problem in that we're not addressing it the right way. We're not seeing it like a physical issue like we see other things. Like when my friend is struggling with shortness of breath and chest pain, I say, go to the emergency room. This could be a heart attack. Like, I'm quick to recommend that. But then when we see our friends struggling with other things, like, lack of motivation, or struggling with sleep issues, or concentration, or feelings of guilt, we sort of write that off. Like, we're afraid to call it what it is and to bring it forward as anxiety and depression and say, hey, go get help, get the treatment you need. So I think part of it is we're just not talking about it enough. And then we're immersed in things that are probably precipitating it all around us. And, we're just not getting the help that we need.
So you're saying, in the church probably especially, there's this mentality that is almost like it's unspiritual to be depressed, and so we just want you to pray, read your Bible more, and get better, where we would never say that to someone who was bleeding out from their arm. You would be like, hey, just trust the Lord, brother.
Absolutely. We would never wait on it.
So we have people who aren't getting help who need it, therefore they get to a breaking point and no one's there to help them.
Absolutely. And we're, like you said, we're not talking about it enough, and maybe we're coding it. I think sometimes we over-spiritualize it, like that must be the there must be something wrong with your faith. There must be something wrong with your relationship with Jesus. You must not be trusting him enough. And, you know, we kind of heap shame on the issue instead of bring it to the light and deal with it. And so really, I think it's part of this starts with how we change the conversation, especially from the top down, like from leadership, pastors, teachers, preachers, counselors. Like how we change the conversation is going to change the stigma and hopefully help us help people who really need it.
So not dishonoring those who have a legitimate illness just because it happens to be one that's in the mind, that we don't give them space and a place to be sick and therefore get healthy just like we would anything else. But then on the other side of that, what you mentioned as far as the issues that are prevalent in our culture when it comes to comparison, social bullying because of Instagram comments and all those little nasty apps that they use on campuses that allow people to write things that no one is accountable for, and the Netflix, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and just the reality of we're not sleeping as much, we're not eating as healthy, we're sugar, dehydration, all that leads to and can lead to probably what then mimics the effects of legitimate mental health issues as well, probably, right?
Absolutely, and maybe not just mimic it. I mean, lack of sleep and lack of a healthy diet and too much exposure to social media. It doesn't just mimic it; it can cause it. You know, it can be what precipitates depression and anxiety. There was a couple studies out of the University of Pittsburgh recently that looked at social media and its effect on our emotional well-being, our psychological well-being. And the people who spent more time on social media in front of a screen comparing their lives to the world of Instagram had a 2.2 times more likelihood of struggling with body image issues and increased likelihood of battling depression. So there you go. It's like, does one cause the other, or like which one comes first? I think the issue is these things sort of precipitate each other. It's like a snowball. The more you do one, the more you struggle with the other. The more you struggle with the other, the more you turn to social media. The more you turn to social media, the more you struggle with depression. So it's kind of like this dangerous machine if you are not accountable, if you're not keeping track of what you're doing and who you're comparing yourself to, you know, like even though we see it in the studies, like it's a no-brainer. We don't even need the studies to know that comparison is the enemy of contentment. Like it's gonna mess with our heads. Once we start using someone else as our measuring stick, we're always gonna fall short. You know, we're always gonna struggle.
So we're inviting depression, and we're bringing in that in the Bible, strongholds, you know, where addiction, and that can eventually easily become that. And I've seen in my own life the compulsive tendencies that I'm now doing something without even thinking about it, chasing the dopamine high that's going to come from it, where we should just be really careful what we turn into habit. And that's what card 3 in my book's all about, that be careful what you do over and over again, because your brain's always paying attention, kind of a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I want to add, you know, I know you talk about this a lot in your work and your writing, but like the idea of self-sabotaging. And, you know, it's not enough to just want to change, right? Like I would say 90% of people would say, yeah, we want to get better. We want to change. We want to do things better. But if you don't have a plan, just wanting to change isn't going to help you change. I mean, even Paul himself says, what I want to do, I don't do, you know? So it's not just about wanting change. It's taking that next step. Okay, I know here's the issues I'm struggling with, whether it be anxiety, whether it be depression, whether it be addiction to social media. I know this is what I'm struggling with. I know this is what I want. Now I need to team up with somebody to come up with a plan so that I can actually take steps in the direction of healing. Because wanting healing and actually moving toward healing are completely different things.
Gosh.
Wow.
Okay, Deborah, you're speaking no doubt to someone who either has gone through serious depression or is facing that, is battling suicidal thoughts, or maybe someone who has maybe that fear that their friend, just that nagging feeling that maybe something's not right. What would you say would be like, if it's you, what would be the 1-2 thing you would say to them, or if they have fear for their friend, what can they best do to help serve them?
Yeah, absolutely. And Levi, let me add that I speak out of a place of experience. I have battled the depths of anxiety and depression in my own life. So even as a professional counselor, I'm not coming on the high horse saying, hey, here's what you should do. I'm saying, hey, this is what I did, and this is what you do out of desperation. First of all, you realize that everyone struggles. You just don't see everyone else's struggle. Everyone has tears in some way, shape, or form. Right. They just don't post them on social media. Like when we're looking at social media, it seems like everybody else has got it together but us, but that's not true. So recognizing everyone is in this struggle, and then recognizing I can't get out of this pit by myself, and inviting people into your life, inviting a mentor, inviting a trusted friend, inviting a professional counselor to walk by your side to help you through this, because it's really hard to carry that burden and try to climb out of the pit by yourself when you've got 100-pound weight of whatever it is you're struggling with. So invite someone in. Let someone in, bring it to the light, because when you bring this stuff to the light, it starts losing its power over your life.
Brilliant. Okay,
really,
and then now
that
for the friend, someone who's afraid for their friend, what do they do?
First of all, I would say we got to start by being honest with our friends and opening up to our own struggles. Like, hey man, you're not the only one that's struggling. I've gone through things myself. Because sometimes it's hard to help people when we have kind of created a shell that we're perfect and we don't have struggles. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So it's vulnerability, like you just did, leading from a place of our woundedness.
Yeah. Explaining where you're at, and then gently leading them to help, just like you would a friend who is struggling with any illness. Say, hey man, I really believe, hey girlfriend, I really believe that you could use some encouragement, you could use some support. I'm here for you. Here are some resources. Let's talk through this and see what we can do to get you to a better place. Are there any goals that you have? Just ask questions. Ask questions is the best place to ask. Don't just judge and say what you think they should do, but just ask questions. Where are you at? How can I help? What can I do to get you to a better place? And let them lead the conversation, but ask questions, open the conversation. And I believe that you can really impact somebody just by starting there.
Gosh. Well, Debra, thank you for taking some time to be with us on our release day. Once again, for anyone listening, I want to encourage you to check out Choosing Marriage. And that's Debra's newest book. And do you have a website, Debra?
TrueLoveDates.com.
Oh, there it is. TrueLoveDates.com.
Is that Jenny? Jenny is on it.
Jenny's on it with the website. Get this book for your marriage.
Yes.
Oh, you can see it on the screen. Phenomenal. Thank you, Debra.
Thank you. We appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. Congratulations. Your book is awesome. Your ministry is amazing. And I just pray God's blessings over all of you guys.
I wish we could give you a cupcake, because we have cupcakes with spades on them.
I would love one.
Marshmallow cream, and there's a fly on it. Get that fly off there. Okay. Bye, Debra. Have a great day.
Bye, Debra. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the good things that are coming. Appreciate you taking the time to visit me here on YouTube. Have a great day.